The FDD and the franchise agreement are two of the most important documents in the franchise world. So what's the difference between them? Whether you're buying a franchise, franchising your business, selling franchises, you know that two of the most important documents you're going to be dealing with is the FDD and the franchise agreement. The difference, the FDD is a pre-sales disclosure document. It's designed to inform prospective franchise buyers about the franchise opportunity they may be investing in. While the franchise agreement, that's the legal agreement that creates the relationship between franchisor and franchisee. So the FDD, the franchise disclosure document, it's required by federal law. Franchisors need to disclose their franchise disclosure document to prospective franchise buyers before they sign a franchise agreement or before they pay any fees. Within the franchise disclosure document should be a copy of the franchise agreement. And within the franchise disclosure document should be a summary of certain legal rights and relationships within the franchise agreement. So the FDD, it's designed to educate and inform franchise buyers about the franchise opportunity and about the legal relationship between them as a franchisor and franchisee. Whereas the franchise agreement itself, that's the legal agreement. That's what creates rights for franchisees, obligations, franchisor-franchisee relationship. So we'll dive into this a little more. FDD, under the rules by the Federal Trade Commission and the franchise laws, 14 days before a franchisee signs a franchise agreement or pays a franchise fee, the franchisor should have and is required to disclose its franchise disclosure document. The purpose of the FDD is to educate and inform prospective franchise buyers. It's like a prospectus before someone buys a stock or security. It's designed to inform franchise buyers, and it contains detailed information about the franchise opportunity. So what's some examples of the information contained in the FDD? Well, the FDD itself has 23 sections. They're called items, and it's broken down between who the franchisor is, experience of the franchisor's management team, whether or not there's litigation or bankruptcy history. What's the initial phase that a franchise buyer has to pay, that initial franchise fee? What are the ongoing legal fees? And other information about the franchisor, including financial statements. What the FDD also does, well, it attaches a copy of the franchisor's standard form franchise agreement. And even in items 9 of the FDD and item 17 of the FDD, includes a legal summary, a breakdown summary of the franchisor's obligations to the franchise buyer. What are the things the franchisor is going to do before a franchisee opens, during opening? What type of support and obligations are they going to provide their franchisees after the franchise business is open? And in item 17 of the FDD, franchisors provide a detailed disclosure in a grid format of legal obligations and relationship between franchisor and franchisee. For example, how long the term of a franchise agreement is, whether or not the franchisee has a right to renew, circumstances where a franchisor can terminate. So the FDD and the franchise agreement, they go hand in hand. The FDD provides information about the franchise agreement, and the franchise agreement itself, that's your legal agreement. Within a franchise agreement, it's going to be signed between the franchisee and the franchisor. It creates the obligation between the parties. So within the franchise agreement, a franchisor is awarding a franchise, providing typically a franchisee with a designated territory where they're going to operate, and ongoing obligations like a franchisee's obligation to pay royalties, to spend minimum amounts on marketing, to follow the franchisor's standards, and also obligations by the franchisor itself in terms of the ongoing support they're going to provide. So FDD, it's a disclosure. It's not a legal agreement. It's required by federal and state franchise laws. It's designed to inform franchisees about what's in their franchise agreement and other information that's relevant to a franchise buyer about a franchise investment. There's other legal agreements that'll be attached to an FDD. Again, they're just exhibits to disclose to you as a franchise buyer the types of agreements you may need to sign. So now in the franchising process, a franchisor will disclose, typically electronically, the FDD to a franchise buyer, someone who's interested in buying a franchise. It's disclosed not less than 14 days before they sign a franchise agreement. The franchisee, franchise buyer, should be reviewing the FDD, everything, legal obligations, estimated startup expenses, whether or not the franchisor makes financial performance representations, and a bunch of other items. They should be reviewing that with their franchise lawyer. When it comes time to entering into or buying a franchise, well, that means you're signing the franchise agreement yourselves. Franchisor, franchisee, you're paying the initial fee, and you're building a franchise relationship. So the difference between a franchise agreement and an FDD, the FDD is a legal disclosure document. The franchise agreement is your legal agreement or the legal agreement between franchisor and franchisee. When people negotiate the terms of a franchise relationship, they're negotiating the terms of the franchise agreement.